Welcome to MILF. Welcome to MILF Talk. Today's topic is questions with a gay black man. So today we're bringing in Karlos Dillard. He's an amazing person. We met him on the Friendsgiving. It was pretty bomb. So shout out to Jillian. She did thebomb.com. Friendsgiving.
Mm-hmm.
But Mr. Karlos Dillard, he's an author, he's an actor, he's a public speaker, and you know, we're featuring him today on MILF Talks. I'm super excited to have him here and to hear from him and have him as our special guest.
Yes, so you guys stay tuned. Welcome.
Thank you. It's so nice to be here with you ladies.
Yay.
I don't know you, I just met you today.
Shasta like the mountain or the pop, whatever.
You said Shasta like the mountain.
Oh, like the mountain or the pop.
I didn't say or.
I said or.
Or.
But you said it so fast, I was like, or the pop. Is there something I'm missing? Is there a place called the pop?
No.
Shasta. I like that.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too,
Again.
Shasta. But I met these two at the Friendsgiving. It was only like a week and a half ago.
I was at work, so I was invited, but I just
You
couldn't
should have been there.
attend.
Ooh,
I would have.
missed
It was a
work.
lot of fun.
Yeah.
It
Was so much fun, but we had a lot of good conversations, ladies.
And that's what kind of triggered you coming today. Was, you know, you have a podcast. Actually, do you want to introduce your podcast
Yeah,
real
well,
quick?
let me drop it in.
Yeah, drop it in.
I have a podcast with my husband. It's called Kicking It with Chris and Karlos. Our tagline is that we are black, gay, married, and funny as fuck. We're available on all platforms that you find podcasts at. And YouTube, so you can definitely check us out. We're funny. It's not for the politically incorrect or politically correct.
It's not for the correct.
It's not for the correct.
It's for the incorrect.
It's real and wrong, right?
It's real and wrong, but it's real, raw, and right because we don't pick a side. We give our honest opinions, and that's just what it is. So,
So Kicking It with Carlos, check him out.
Chris.
Kicking It with Carlos and Chris, check him
Don't
out.
forget the
Yeah,
hubby.
Carlos and Chris.
Check it out.
But this kind of triggered you coming. So we had a great conversation, literally talking about how we grew up. Like we're drinking, okay?
Yeah, of course.
But we are just getting real. Like Latia, you know, tell us a little bit about her and all that. And we were like, you know what? We need to be on his podcast. He needs to be on our show. We have to do this.
Let's collab.
We have to collab. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, and you're hilariously funny.
I
love yours amazing, just like overall. I love your personality.
Sometimes I feel like literally that night I was like, babes, you think I was doing too much?
That's what made it hilarious.
That was more fun. You really did.
I was like, am I doing too much? But that night you guys had a lot of questions about how I interact with my girl best friends and how do I interact. Well, it was a lot of y'all, your husband was there, and there were a lot of other of our friends, their husbands were there, and they were black men, and it was kind of cool for me because I don't interact with a lot of straight black men in that close encounterment without there being any type of shade.
Well, I want to
friction.
bring up one point. So we were all playing Taboo, and you and your husband are the only gay men there. Everybody else are like kind of like these very masculine gay, or excuse me, masculine. Masculine. So they were, excuse me, let me clarify. They were the two only gay men, and they're married. And then we had the rest of the men that were there. The other couples, they were all married, but they were straight men. So how do you feel like for you, like we were playing Taboo, and you were getting in there, you didn't, you know, care, and how does that?
Well, the only kind of thing that made it weird is kind of like how we split up the teams. How I wanted to be part of the girls' team.
Oh, because we did girls against boys.
And then girls against boys, and I didn't want to be part of the boys' team at first, but then y'all put me part of the boys' team. Y'all forced me to be part of the boys' team. I was like, I don't want to be part of the boys.
Do you identify more with women?
Okay, I don't use the word identify because since the trans movement has become a bigger issue. When you say I identify with women, people mislead that as I identify as a woman.
Oh.
And I don't. I'm a man. I have balls. Excuse my French.
Yeah.
So.
But you just connect with
I connect
more.
with women more.
Okay, that's good verbiage. That's good.
So I would say connect, not identify, because I don't identify. I don't have a vagina. I don't know what you go through.
Right.
But I connect with women easier and more than I do with straight men.
I love the way you make.
Yeah, that makes so much sense because people could take that and then run with it.
Say, identify with women. Like, oh, he identified as a woman.
Oh, he think he a woman.
And,
That's
and
not what I
we
said.
had that conversation.
It's also, I kind of felt like it was strategy on the girls' part. You want to be a part of the girls' team, but you're on the men's team. But really, when it was your turn, you were speaking to your husband, saying, "Honey, this is what it is."
And that's kind of why we do that too, because we haven't as much as, and we'll get into kind of what the negative things we go through being black gay men, but the positive thing is I can go to the gym with him. We play video games. Like, we're boys.
So you guys can connect on a different level.
Like, we go hiking.
So best friends.
We're best friends. We just happen to have sex too. So when there's any type of team thing, it's unfair because I know him like the back of my hand. So it's better if I am with the opposite team because it's more fair.
So you cheating?
I tried to tell him.
That's what happened.
We still won, so the cheating didn't work because the girls were way up. So
well, Shasta, did you have a question for Karlos?
I do have a question. Okay. I wanted to know, because I've heard multiple different stories from different women, men. Have you ever had to be a secret to a man who was not quite ready to come out to his family or friends?
Yeah, so it's called Down Low. Down Low.
Yeah.
I was very young. He was my manager. I think I was like 17 at the time. He was 24, 25. And I was his first gay relationship.
Okay.
And so now after that relationship, I'm gonna kind of go forward and I'm gonna go back. The reason now I don't date men who've never, or now I'm married, I don't date men at all. But before I got married, I didn't date men who had never dated another man or who had dated a woman. Now a lot of people disagree with me with that. I have my own personal reasons why I don't.
Do you mind slightly sharing without
kind of the same reason how your husband was sharing with me. If you dibble-dabbled before, you might dibble-dabble again. I think that might be ignorant, but that's just my personal preference.
Yeah, I get it. Just like as a straight woman, my personal preference would be that my husband has never been with a man.
Right.
Exactly.
Same thing, because then it makes me uncomfortable. Not only do I have to worry about you cheating on me with a woman, now a man, and everybody, I'm just
and it's not
uncomfortable.
just about worry. Me and my husband and my fans know this. We have a very open relationship, so we throw down threesomes sometimes, because we've been married for 8 years. You can't drive the same car. Sometimes you get rental. You get that insurance on that rental. You go. You take a quarter.
and then look, you go return it.
That's a whole nother question.
But then you return it the next day.
So to answer your question, I have dated a man who was in the closet and was on the down low. And what ends up happening is you take the brunt of the work and helping him become comfortable, and then he goes buck wild because now eventually it's gonna come out, and then once it does, nothing, like, they think the worst is gonna happen to them, and nothing usually happens to them, and then they just go off, and that's what happened in my circumstance. He just started just being a cheater, and just like, and to be fair, it was like giving a crackhead a line of crack, and then give him the whole access to the whole crack house. So it was like he
went left.
Yeah, like he just really took it to the extreme. So I don't suggest it. It is also unsafe because we have so many of our trans brothers and sisters who are being killed because they are sex workers who are on the down low, and these men are so afraid that they could be outed and they're taking it into their own hands. So just on the safety side of it, and then just the side of just being wanted. Like, who wants to be a secret?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, who wants to be a secret? So there's just so many different levels to that question. But that's a really good question because it does happen and it is real.
I appreciate you answering that.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, I have a question for you, Karlos, and it goes back to us being at Friendsgiving together, mostly straight black men. How do you feel about having to be around straight black men, or like, does it make you feel any type of way?
I usually I feel comfortable because I have brothers who are straight black men. Like my dad's a straight black man. But there's times where just like I was like, on Sunday we were assaulted in the grocery store by a straight black man.
Recently, or
2 days ago.
What?
Was there anything that triggered it, or he was just being hateful?
We looked back at the cameras with the owner, and he had been following us and staring at us since we entered the store. And me and my husband do a great job at not holding hands or showing any public PDA. Not that we're ashamed.
Right, that's what I'm saying, but it's unfortunate that you even have to even go
Right.
there and not be yourself and not show your public display of affection, which is that's what PDA is.
Yeah.
You know, you're just happy for who you're with. And
Yeah,
you're
and well, we don't do it not that we're ashamed, but we really do it because I personally I don't like it if you're straight gay, if you have sex with animals. I don't care what you do. I just don't think it's appropriate because
you don't know who you can influence. You just don't want to be a part of that.
know, and then especially for
But is it
me,
because
there's
you're gay,
children.
or-
For me, it's because I'm gay and there are children.
Yeah.
Especially if there's like a family outing, I'm not gonna put that child in a position to have to ask their parents a question and force that child into questioning maybe themselves or at an early age where they don't need it at that exact second.
Yeah, I get it.
But no, that has nothing to do with shame, and a lot of people mix that with shame, and it has nothing to do with shame. It's more of
You just
respect.
want to be respectful.
It's
you
respectful,
care.
and I care, and I think that everyone should, because if I have a little gay boy and he sees mommy and he sees a woman and a man just making out and doing all that, that might confuse him.
Right.
So I don't think anyone should do it.
Right.
Because your sex life is your personal life, and I think it should stay that way.
Right.
I kind of got off track. What was your initial question?
Straight black men. How do you feel?
How do I feel about straight black men? So that man attacked us. He called us the F word. He followed us to the store. He tried to. He threatened to beat us up and like meet me outside, this, that, and the other. And growing up as a gay, I'll let all you straight black men know.
You still can.
I've been fighting since I was 6 years old.
I knew where you were going with
Yeah,
that. You can still get it.
You
I don't
can
care
still
what I
get
like. You
these
can still
hands.
get it up.
Guess what? I'm still a man. I still got testosterone. Like you
I knew
can
where that was
still
going.
catch these hands, and that's what I don't. And that's why I make it very clear that I'm not a woman. I'm not woman-like. Don't get it confused, brother.
I just
Do
like
not get it
I can mess with
confused.
them, but I will still meet you like a man that I am.
Exactly. So that's my problem with black men is that they feel like, and you know, I went to school for political science and black history, and it goes back to the slave mentality of buck breaking. Are you guys familiar with buck breaking?
What is that?
They would take like the struggle from my thoughts. They would take the biggest black men and literally rape them.
They would break
Oh,
them.
yeah.
The master,
To
the
break
master
them
would
down
break them.
mentally, you know, just break them
So,
down.
and they would do it in front of the whole
Everyone.
village.
So,
It was pretty much like, and then if you were caught having sex with another man, it was like the most disrespect to the culture because like that's what they did to break us down and make you less of a man to take your manhood. So I think that is a generational curse or like a cycle of black men being like, oh, if I have attraction, if I give a gay man, and that's why I was so surprised about all the men in there. They were smoking weed. Most black men were like, don't pass me.
I really thought we really just got along, and like I looked at you and I was like, wow, you know, I'm glad that we can all, upon our first meeting, be very comfortable with each other.
Exactly.
I don't get why they would be mad at you because if they're mad about you doing what you do with a man, we do what we do with a man. What's the difference?
Well,
I
it's
don't
just their
know.
mentality. I mean, just a man, like, showing it, like, I don't know.
Being friendly.
Like, I want to say feminist, like, you know, like, that's where, like, the homophobe type of
But the
word
thing is, I
comes
think
in.
that
Because
we
they're like,
each
oh,
have-
I'm a homophobe. Like, I don't want them smoking out my weed or something. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
We each have masculine energy and feminine energy.
Exactly.
You have very masculine energy.
I do.
You have a very
Oh.
like just like I'll whoop your ass. Like I'm about my bills. Like you just have you seem like you are head of your household no matter who's in charge.
Is that true?
You're a single black mother. Yes, you're
Like
right.
so you and then, so different people have, and you have a more of a feminine energy where you will be like, oh my, I will let a man do it, but then at the end of the day, I know at the end you're still a black woman. You can't do it with yourself. I personally, I side towards it. I love to make my husband's meals.
Yeah.
I love to like, but then I like to have when he rubs my feet. Like we each play different roles, and there isn't a energy that is attached to a certain sex. And I know this conversation comes up a lot about sex and what is sexual identity, and I don't want to get into that, but I do want to get into energies and say that everyone has their own energy, and you could be a tomboy and still like men.
Yeah.
You know, you can be,
definitely.
and then you can be,
Which I've seen.
and I've seen so many effeminate, like, oh, that nigga so good. But he has a wife, and he and they are beautiful, and she's like, he blaze it down and everything. So it depends. It just really does depend on what energy that you hold. So that's my idea on black man. Like I just want you all to get it together and just know that we're all in this together.
I have another question because you just brought that up. Okay, so have you ever been in an outing and you run into a guy that has a family that you know that does what they do.
Ooh.
And I do.
I need to know. I need to know.
I
I want to know.
It's only happened one time.
So what did that look like? What did that feel
I was
like?
working. I was at work, and
Let's get juicy sip.
Right.
I was
That's-
18 at work, and he had a part-time job where I worked, and I'm not trying to, because I don't want, where I'm from, people can tame down. So I'm trying to just be very, I'm from a very small town.
Okay.
So he had a part-time, and then he also was going to school to become a sheriff. So he was already a police officer, and he was in like sheriff training. He had like 3 kids and a wife that he'd been married to for like 22 years.
Oh my.
And you're 18?
Yeah, he was like 40.
Oh, you know you like them young.
40.
Or they like, well.
He was about 40,
My sugar daddy
44.
told me how.
And we had like a on and off, not a relationship, but just like a situationship. And then one day I just saw him come in with his wife, and he didn't act like he didn't know me, like, because we're coworkers and she knows we're coworkers.
So he had to play a
So
role.
like he had to be like, "Hey Carlos, how are you?" And he knows like we're super friendly at work, so like he can't ignore me.
I know,
But
but
then
did
he
you
was
know
like,
he was
"This is
married?
my wife."
Did you know he was married?
Oh yeah.
So, okay.
And, hey,
Yeah.
listen, I'm single.
Exactly.
I didn't take not man one vow. I
You
didn't
were
take.
young.
You took a vow, you didn't take a vow.
I didn't take, and I was young.
You
I
were
wouldn't
young.
do
You
that
were
at my
18.
age, at
No,
27.
no.
So
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
But at that idea, I didn't feel like I was doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
And he was like helping a brother out with some school
That's why I said my
books.
sugar daddy.
He was helping a brother out with some school books. I was just in college. So it was really, it really wasn't awkward until he like forced me to meet her. And then she took a liking to me,
Oh, no.
like most women do, and was like, "Oh my God, you should come over to dinner." And da, 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 da. I had to go to dinner.
Did you go?
I
You
went.
accepted the offer. Sir.
Stop! It was Florida. You don't just like say no to dinner. Like
Really?
you just, they were like Baptist. So I went to dinner.
Again.
I had a great dinner and went home. I never talked to him after that day. though.
Okay.
I was just like, this no, because I got to know them. I was like, she was a super sweet woman. I was
There's a
like,
lot I
I
can't
would
do
never do that to her. Like,
So do you think she ever
knowing
found
her?
out?
I don't think so, because
Well,
about me. Because I don't know if she ever found out about him, because I'm sure he was doing it with other people, and I have heard from the grapevine from friends who still live there that type of stuff is still going on. But
Okay, well, speaking of, because now I'm a little bit, I want to dig a little deeper. We asked him, like, is anything off limits? So I kind of want to
He
ask
said
him.
no. He said no.
I said no.
He said no.
So
So
not
I'm
being
like,
mean.
just saying. So, have you ever been asked to like be in a threesome with somebody that was in a straight relationship and they wanted to try something new?
Interesting.
Not as a single person. My husband and I have had a threesome with a man who had a girlfriend.
So
Really?
who was single and he just wanted to
my.
try something new, or you guys were like, okay.
No. We were at a party, and he was just like, it was kind of like, I want to try. Yeah, I want to like. He kept asking questions, and then it was like, do you want to try it? Like, he was just asking.
Okay, I'm catching it.
How did that work? What was the wife doing?
No, the girlfriend. No, it was the
Okay,
girlfriend.
the
She
girlfriend.
wasn't there. So, and it was back in college, and before we were still safe. We still wrapped it up, but we didn't know him. Like, it was, we were just at a party, so we didn't.
Okay.
He just said, "I have a girlfriend. And I've never done anything like this." So it's not like we knew him and he was like our homeboy or anything. It was just a random at a party in college. But yeah, that has happened. So yeah, it's just
Do you have any questions?
We have another question. So I'm married. You've met my husband.
Mhm.
Really good, cool guy, I would
Love
say. But my husband is kind of tainted because his previous relationship or ex-wife had a best friend who was gay, black. They slept together.
When I heard that, wow.
Right. And now he thinks that all my gay guy friends are just
or there's attraction or
And
something.
and I talk about this a lot on my podcast about how comfortable I am around women and how I didn't notice it until I started getting older. And my neighbor was the first one. She's like, "Carlos, first of all, you're educated. You look good.
Yes.
You're in shape. Like, if you could pull any of them. That's what it is." And because to me, I was just like, what like little old me? I'm like, little old me. I like this. Like, little old me. And she's like, "No, you are a real threat. If you didn't say the word gay, you would be a real threat to most men. So no, you can't go to the bathroom with my wife. No, y'all can't sleep in the same bed. But back in the day when we were in college or we were going to be, we slept in the same bed. We pissing next to each other like, hey, sis, here, oh, you got your period and tampons. Like,
I have gay best friends that openly undress. Like
you don't care.
Like, I'm not very modest. I mean, I'm respectful, I'm not very modest. But in front of my girlfriends, I'm like, okay, take off my shirt. I'm gonna change. You know, whatever. No big deal.
Exactly. That's how it was with
that's how it is with
my
gay men too. That
you don't care. You're like, okay, looking at me
because they're not worried about what I got. You know, but. You know, in that sense, your husband experienced that where his ex slept with her gay best friend.
Right.
And then he actually told me that too, because I made the comment of, you have to be an immature man or an insecure man to think that a gay man is going to.
Oh, that's what you said to him.
And that's what brought up the conversation. He was like, well, and I did up until recently, because you don't. Okay. Because I just thought, oh, little old gay Karlos, what is that? Little gay Karlos has a career. He has college educated.
You can get him a straight girl.
I have some accolades. So there is a reason why that person. So before I was like, there's no reason. Mm-hmm. But then after, I think it kind of, your husband kind of helped me be like, oh wow, like that is true. He's like, listen, it's not anything you have to do against you or your sexuality, but humans are, and that's how he explains that humans are humans. Mm-hmm. And you know, humans have human needs. Mm-hmm. And you know, and you think you know a person, and you may not know that person. Yeah. And then I also find out a lot of times that there are girls, I personally have had girlfriends who have scapegoated our relationship as a way to mess around on their man.
I'm gonna hang out with Karlos, but they're really with another nigga.
I'm gonna hang out with Karlos, or there's another nigga. This is Karlos's friend, you know, Kiki. I met him through Karlos. He's gay too, right? But he ain't gay. Yeah. So they're using me as a connection, as like, oh, you don't have to worry, because you know he's Karlos's friend.
And I have to be honest, I've done that before. Just because I know my husband's history, he has been tainted in that way. It's like, oh, he's gay. He's like really, really gay. You know what I mean? Like trying to like make him
really, really
gay.
He's
not gay. He's gay.
Like you would never want me or something like that.
She's like, he good. But no, I never in my life had sex with a woman. Neither has my husband.
Have you never?
I've never kissed a woman. I've never. The first time I saw a vagina is when we tried to have we had an adoption. It ended up failing, but I was there for the birth and I held her leg, and that was my first time ever seeing a vagina.
That's a vagina that's also giving.
It is a whole.
That's a whole other vagina.
I was like,
that's not a regular vagina.
I was gonna ask you.
Don't judge vaginas.
That's not fair. I was gonna ask you a question, but you just answered it. I guess I was gonna ask you, have you ever been with a woman? And you said no. But then, has a woman ever thought she could change you?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
What did that look like?
Oh yeah. In college, all the time, like, and it really became into
like I could be like, I'm gonna change you into being straight.
No, like I'm attractive. I think that if we have a good connection, he will.
It really wasn't more of that. It was really the women who've tried it. It didn't start off sexually, because I'm not sexually attracted to women, so you have to break down so many barriers, but it was more of like, we become friends, like hanging out.
Like
with
emotional.
And it was mental and emotional, like, and then it kind of she started seeing me in certain ways, and I was like, oh no, and then like, but then you can feel like the touch is different.
Right.
Like when we're on the couch, and then she's just like, I was like, sis, you weren't doing all that when we were watching Housewives last week.
All of a sudden.
You were all of a sudden, your legs over my leg, and you were a little too close to my crotch, like, So I had to literally be like, I told her, I was like, I don't feel comfortable. And she's like, I really like you. And then she's like, I think that we can be. And they were even like, she was like, you can still date men. And I was just like, no.
That's weird.
I don't know about. I don't think that's normal.
That happens a lot. We're not friends anymore, but I still know. She ended up getting married to a racist, and now they're happy.
Wait, she got married to a man or?
Oh man, yeah, a white man. She's Latino.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. Very bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I can imagine changing a gay black man and being like, here I am, like.
Well, there's a lot of women who think they can change a gay black man. Yeah.
I don't know.
I believe it.
Because you know how some people think that it's like a choice, and sometimes it's just the way you're born. It's just what you feel. You don't mean to do it. It just happens.
Well, I mean a lot of men too who just aren't.
What'd you say?
There are what?
I ain't gonna say no name.
What'd you say, sir?
Who just they hide behind things. I don't rather it be religion, rather it be masculinity, rather it be, oh, this is just how I am, and it's just like, sir, like, no, you're not. Like you. honestly, be honest with yourself.
Right.
And I think that's what confuses people. Like, if you are metrosexual, it's okay to be a man who likes to dress to the T,
Yeah.
have a nice house, have a nice car.
Manicure,
It's
right.
perfectly okay. But if you do those things and then you are also hiding your sexuality, that's where it becomes, to me, not okay.
Yeah.
Because then, like, you're stereotyping other straight men who do that, and maybe they don't have any interest in being homosexual, but they just like doing those type of things.
yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So.
Okay.
Well, I feel like, does anybody have any last minute questions? I feel like you touched on some stuff, and we appreciate you for doing that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you
Does
guys
anybody have any?
Oh, no.
So wait,
Yeah.
one more question for
I
you.
got one more.
Okay, so I know you
Shasta.
said you don't like. I know I got questions. I know you say you don't like women, but is there one woman that can get it? Just one.
A celebrity or something.
See, that goes back to women thinking that they could change that.
I didn't say one.
Because
Okay, so the question is,
Because I don't like
there a
white
woman
men.
that I find sexually attractive?
Yeah, just one. It could be just one. Something about her.
Laverne Cox.
Laverne Fox.
Oh,
Cox.
but Laverne Cox
Is
but
a trans
she's
woman.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So
So she has masculine energy.
but let's get okay.
But
I
she's
know,
a woman still. She
let's-
has,
Got it.
Let's touch on that, okay?
I guess.
So
you didn't specify.
you're right.
She's a
You
woman.
answered me.
Right, I
Once they
appreciate it.
transition, you
I
you
fully,
change the
as a
pronoun.
person transition, I fully respect them. I don't even call them trans women. I call them women.
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 Okay,
Okay.
okay.
So then. Okay. So you don't. Okay. Just to be politically correct, they transitioned to women, but now they're a woman, just a woman, right?
Okay.
Yeah, now a lot of people will say a trans woman pre-op is still a woman. I still think you are a woman, but I believe you are a trans woman.
Oh, okay.
I think until you have a
So,
vagina,
but-
you,
so
like,
with
you
so
to me
if
a
I
woman.
could just speak from maybe the more heterosexual side, if she asked if there's a woman, we're thinking you're gonna say Beyonce, or we're thinking you're gonna say a woman that was born a woman,
Right.
right? So when you said a trans woman, she's a woman, but she's a trans woman. Do you feel like that's because you're just not attracted to women at all, but because she was a man, has masculine energy,
I think that's what it is.
but she's a woman?
But she's a woman
With
now.
yeah,
so
so
like,
you're-
if I would date a trans woman. Like
Really?
even post-op, because it's just the energy. Now I don't
But
know
post
how
op
it
is still a
would work.
penis, which you're with a man.
Post-op, you don't have a penis. Post-op, you are
You're
completed.
Well, then what do you
boobs,
post?
vagina,
But here's the
Maybe
thing,
done,
though. I'm not
great.
attracted to
But you're
vaginas.
talking
What
about-
I'm attracted to, I can do to men and women. It's the anus.
I know, but what I'm
These
saying
are-
is, she was a
Just
man.
to like be clear.
I know, what I'm saying,
So
she's
like,
a man that transitioned to a woman.
Mhm.
So what I'm trying to get clear is, she's a man transitioned to a woman, right? So
Mhm.
she now has a vagina that was turned into a vagina,
Uh-huh.
right? But you're saying you couldn't be with a man that was transitioned to a woman because they have a penis. Because technically you're with a man I know has a penis.
Yeah.
So you'd be with anybody.
But he said energy. It's all the
Yeah,
energy.
it's
Like
energy.
they used to be a man. Now they're right. I don't know if I'm
it's
saying
for
correct.
me. I would feel more comfortable with a trans person who used to be a man who's not a woman than vice versa, because. And in my brain, I was like, you were born a woman, and they still might be feminine. The bone structure, just the way men smell.
But what
there
about
are just things
That's what I
that
was
like.
trying to
Yeah.
get.
Oh.
You
No,
answered
you
the
can't.
question.
You can't mimic.
But
Like,
you
you
answered the
can't
question.
mimic
So you're more
just
attracted
a
to
man.
masculine energy.
masculine energy,
Yeah,
and then it's
sexually.
like aroma. Like, so I
But
just say like,
sexually, or you just feel like in general?
in general.
So say if me and Latia were talking, right? And you said she has more feminine energy, I have more masculine energy. What are you naturally more attracted to?
I'm more. If for example, if you both were trans women, I would be more attracted to you than to her, because she has a more feminine energy and you have a more masculine.
But as a
energy.
friend, I'm just saying, because it's not sexually at this point. I'm saying you just naturally clarified masculine, but even as a friend.
You mean who you connect with
Yeah,
better?
yeah. I'm just trying to clarify because
Oh, I don't know, because I don't think I know you guys enough to
Oh, okay.
answer that question fairly.
I'm just saying, based off the energy, right?
Just
'Cause I was
off,
trying to-
off basic energy, I feel like she shares more.
Yeah.
So I get to know her better, but I feel like I can just talk to you more easily.
You think
Yeah.
that?
Like I know way more about her in the little
Yeah.
time that I
Yeah.
met her than what I knew about you. Than what
Yeah.
you
She's the
shared
quiet
with your
one,
personal
but
life.
She
she
is.
likes you, and she's
Well,
the
no,
outspoken
let me
one.
just say, I'm an Aquarius and I'm an introvert, so when I connect, I deeply connect.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
may
that's
not connect
different,
with
yes.
a lot of people.
Not
but I
well
do.
initially, but when you do.
When
Yeah.
I do,
I feel like I got a lot of
right.
information from
That's
you.
We're
better.
connected like that.
Yeah, yeah. And it's funny because me and your husband talked a lot.
And my husband husband is kind of like her. He don't talk
Exactly.
to people.
He's not, no, but you know, it's funny. He's more her energy, more of the soft spoken, whatever.
That's
but yeah,
so
me and him had a
funny.
really long conversation.
And you guys are best friends, so it makes sense.
That's funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
That's, look, that makes sense. It makes perfect sense.
I think that this was
Yes.
a really good topic, you guys.
This really was. I think that I've learned some new things. I hope you
I
guys
did too.
have learned
Yes.
some new things. And,
So plug yourself one more time, just for our viewers.
you can follow me on Karlos Dillard at Karlos Dillard on every platform. That's Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. And I have a book coming out in January. It's called Border the State. You can get it on Amazon. Definitely check it out. It's my memoir of being a foster child. And I'm looking at the wrong camera. I was doing my own.
Oh, I was doing that too.
But it's
Oh my
okay.
God.
We're looking at y'all. We're looking at y'all.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm an open book. I'm like this every day, to strangers, to new people, to old people.
Well, that's what attracted me to you. I mean, we brought it up, and I was like, we have to bring Karlos on. I mean, I like that you have that energy, and you made
amazing.
obviously entertain me. I mean, I was going through a lot that night, but I still had an amazing time. But I mean, you know, just you brought that energy, which I think is great. I mean, you freaking had a chicken leg in your hand, and you were like, I'm about to eat this chicken leg.
I was
Oh, that's funny. Turkey
It was
leg.
a turkey leg.
It was a Friendsgiving, it was a turkey leg.
It was
but-
so funny.
Yeah.
Well, it was so nice to meet you, ladies. Thank you for having me on your amazing show.
Thank you for
We
coming.
will have you on our show. I cannot wait until you come, because we actually have not had. We've had one black, but she was a lesbian. We haven't had any black women. Dianna like that, talk about some dirty. I'm definitely gonna have you guys.
That's fine. I'm like, shit.
It ain't no shade. We
She
know
did
what
a
it is.
whole tree. But no, I'm definitely gonna have you guys on our show, and I love what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Definitely get more guests on.
Yeah.
I think it opens the conversation up a whole lot more and gets different perspectives in. So.
Agree. We appreciate you coming.
As always.
As always.
Stay beat.
Stay fly.
And remember, you're one of a kind. Till next time on MILF Talk.